Aloha, beautiful souls. Welcome, Tarot Ohana, to our Gemini reading. This is a Gemini love reading for the weekend. I hope that you are doing absolutely amazing, Gemini. We are going to go ahead and we are going to take a look and we are going to see what we have for you. We will be using the Romance Angels today. We will also be using the Tarot of Dreams. And I have selected, using the random comment picker, a winner of our one card tarot reading. So stay tuned to find out who that is. If you want to be included in that potential, be sure to comment down below. Also, Gemini, stay tuned. There'll be an announcement later today about an upcoming live stream. So be sure that you pay attention to that because it is coming. All right, my darlings, let's get rolling, shall we? For your romance angels, we have stay optimistic about your love life, Gemini. So you might have been going through some difficult trials with regards to love, with regards to relationships. This day and age, dating is kind of, difficult. So you may have been feeling this sense that, you may have had a little bit of a negative mindset. It says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So maybe you're looking for that special person, or, we have her kind of like, giving this offering to the gods, shall we say. Maybe you're hoping that somebody will accept your offer of a date or an offer of connection. That's highly possible as well. All right, so with the Tarot of Dreams, we are going to split our deck into 3 piles. As I read, Gemini, I place you on this side, your person on this side. As always, you can swap sides if you feel like this person is actually you. It's perfectly okay to do that. So we have the Temperance card. We have the Moon. The Moon. You might be dealing with a Pisces or a Sag. We have the Judgment card. So, 3 major arcanas. Sagittarius, Scorpio, and Pisces. The 6 of Wands. The Ace of Coins. And the High Priestess. Oh, wow. It does look like... Okay, so you have the Ace of Wands or the Ace of Coins in your actions, Gemini. It is very possible you may be hoping that somebody is going to accept your offer for a date here. It's like you want to connect with this person and you're hoping that they are going to say yes. Something you've been waiting on, though. You haven't been taking action. 8 of Cups in the reverse. 7 of Coins. 10 of Wands is the mutual challenge. And the Palace of Swords. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So your energy is the Knight of Coins. So this is interesting because what I'm seeing is I'm seeing that there's been a delay for you taking action with this particular individual, Gemini. We see that delay with the Temperance card here. And we see the delay with the Knight of Coins. Now, you have the Ace of Coins. So I believe you're going to be asking this person out. Now, like I said, if you feel like it's the opposite way, feel free to swap sides. But it looks like there's been this delay, a delay in you and this person getting together. So we see the Temperance card showing here, indicating patience. And it's almost like when the Temperance card shows up, Gemini, it indicates that you've been patient through difficult times, that you may have gone through a difficult time, or maybe your person has gone through a difficult time, and you've just kind of been sitting back and waiting and watching and looking for your opportunity, or they are looking for their opportunity. Either or, but there's this focus on placing energy in something that provides you with a sense of strength and this sense of the ability to move towards this person. Now, I do see that the challenge in you moving towards this person, we see with the 8 of Cups, you also moved away from this person at some point in time. If that's not you, throw it out. But what I'm seeing is maybe you walked away from something else. Could have been that as well. But with the 8 of Coins, it's like you've turned your back on something or someone. And now here's this desire to reignite the spark that the two of you have had. So there's this essence of a desire to reignite the spark, to revive this connection with this particular card, revive the connection. And I see the desire to start fresh. Ace of Coins. It feels like an offering for a date. It does not feel like an offering for commitment, which sometimes we see with that Ace of Coins. But because we have this energy here, I feel more like you and this person are not currently in a relationship or even a situationship. It's like you're wanting to revive something that seems to have been like buried and set aside. You could have set it aside. They could have set it aside. I see here that the challenge for both of you has been an intense amount of stress and strain and difficulties in life. So you and this person have both been under a great deal of strain, a great deal of stress, a great deal of problems, a great deal of burdens that the two of you have individually carried. Now, your person, their challenge is that perhaps they chose not to wait on you. Perhaps they chose not to put effort into gaining your attention, right? So, because we have the Seven of Coins being their challenge. The Seven of Coins can also be that they put an effort in but didn't receive anything from it, and so they turn their back on you. So I see this as a situation in which two people have gone in separate directions. Now, interestingly, your person may be highly intuitive because you have two cards of intuition, two cards of strong psychic knowing, strong intuitive knowing with the High Priestess and the Moon. So it's very possible that your person already is aware of whatever you are going through. They may also be aware of your current energy. Maybe they sense your energy, feel your energy, something of that nature. Now, the Moon here is them being stuck in the dark. Let's say they're not intuitive, right? This person's not intuitive. If they're not intuitive, the Moon being here in this position indicates that this individual that you're dealing with feels kind of out in the dark from you, like they don't know what's going on. And with the Moon, they don't know how to proceed forward because the way is not highlighted, the way is not illuminated for them. Ultimately, though, I feel with them having both the High Priestess and the Moon that you are dealing with somebody who's highly intuitive. Highly intuitive, very likely feels your energy, Gemini, very likely already knows what you're thinking. You know, they might be able to read your mind. You know, there is that possibility. With the Moon and the High Priestess here, they already have an awareness of some sort of energetic shift within you. Now, that doesn't mean that they know you're going to come forward and say, hey, you know, you wanna get together. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, but it means that they sense an energetic shift within you. They're not making a move though. With the High Priestess and their actions, they're not doing anything. They're sitting back and kind of observing and watching and waiting. And with the Six of Wands in their heart space, this looks fantastic because this is a person who believes in the possibilities with you, Gemini. They believe that there is a potential to see where this will go. The Six of Wands shows that there is something about you that they admire. Doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, it doesn't show, because we're looking at wands, they're talking about action, right? Because we're looking at wands, it's not an essence of like deep love and affection and commitment. It's more like there's something they admire about you and they want to see you overcome a difficulty and stand strong. So that looks positive. It looks positive. The outcome is great. The outcome is a place that you're going to be happy, Gemini. The Palace of Swords. It has this futuristic view on it. And the Palace of Swords indicates that the two of you will resume communication if you have not been communicating. There will be a great deal of communication between the two of you, but it's not going to be superficial communication because Gemini is not happy with superficial communication. And this is futuristic. So I feel that the communication that's going to occur between the two of you may be very in-depth, maybe very, you know, on some interesting topics. You have somebody interested in esoteric things here. You've gone through a great deal of trials and struggles, and so the topics of conversation should be interesting and fascinating. Especially having the King of Swords here. Now, the King of Swords is an energy of truth and integrity, and this is a very intelligent being. And so a lot of intelligence will be as part of your communication. Six of Cups does indicate this is a reconnection for the two of you. That's good. And it looks like Gemini, you're going to be dealing with somebody who's very attractive, very charming. The Queen of Wands, they have a lot of suitors, and the Queen of Wands is very friendly, very flirty, and a lot of fun. So you're going to be dealing with somebody who is a lot of fun, a lot of that you're really quite attracted to with this Queen of Wands energy. So it looks fantastic. I don't see the action-oriented movement towards a date just yet, right? So I don't see that just yet, but I do see a lot of communication. A lot of communication coming forth between the two of you with the Palace of Swords, and it's going to be fun and in depth. So that's going to be a place that you're going to be happy with somebody quite charming and quite that you're very, very attracted to. So that looks good, Gemini. All right, let's see who the winner of our contest was for the sign of Gemini. Bear with me, Gemini, as I pause the video to go pull that up. All right, Gemini, we have a brand new winner of our 1-card tarot reading, and it is Oren 2888. And Oren said, like the video, y'all. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's see what we have for you. 1-card tarot reading, please. All right, Fred, my spirit guide me and direct me on this 1-card tarot reading for Oren 2888, please. 1 card. They just said diamond in the rough. I'm not quite sure what it relates to. Maybe it'll make sense to you. All right, look at that. Okay, we got the Knight of Cups. Love this. So when we have the Knight of Cups, the beauty of the Knight of Cups, if it's romantic in nature, right, since we did do love today, Gemini, if it's romantic in nature, this is somebody super charming, very, very sweet, very adorable. It's kind of like a cute energy, so shall we say. Sometimes this comes across in some decks as like prince or princess charming, because they come across with that charming energy. In fact, in the Light Seers Tarot, we see a man holding roses, sitting on the beach with a picnic basket, a picnic blanket. Nobody does that shit anymore, but picnic basket, picnic blanket, a letter, and a white horse behind him. So it literally is in that particular deck, like, Prince Charming. And like I said, nobody does that shit anymore. So I wouldn't expect that in your world at the moment. But we definitely see this energy of some sort of communication coming in from somebody charming, somebody who's, it's going to delight you. It's not going to be to the point where you're like overly excited and like tremendously blown away by it, but it will be something that it delights you. It brings a sense of delight. It brings a sense of joy. Now, if we're looking at it from the career perspective, let's say you've put out your resume to several places and you just haven't been getting any responses. And then all of a sudden you get a response requesting an interview. That could also be this energy here when we see this Knight of Cups. So if it's in the career arena, it could be that. If it's related to some other difficulty that you've been going through in your life and you need a break, this could be somebody bringing that news, bringing that information that just lifts your spirits and kind of takes you out of that difficult energy. So I love to see the Knight of Cups come up. The one thing about the Knight of Cups, though, is the Knight of Cups, if we're talking about a dating perspective, right? The Knight of Cups can be flaky. So you might be dealing with somebody a little bit flaky. When I say flaky, they have all 100% intentions of making plans with you. When they contact you, when they make plans, they 100% at that moment, they're like, yes, Tuesday, 6 p.m., we're going for a drink, first date, So they have the plans. They plan on it. They're intending that. But this person's so flaky that they forgot to check their calendar and realize that they have a meeting that actually goes until 6:30 at work. And so they couldn't possibly be there until 7, but then they become embarrassed to tell you this. And so rather than actually following through, they end up ghosting and they end up kind of turning their back. And then they come forward with an I'm sorry and, try to be all cute about it. So you could also be dealing with somebody who's got a little bit of emotional immaturity and who may not have their life entirely in order. So when we have this kind of energy come through, you kind of need to sort of expect the unexpected, right? Be delighted in the communication, but if plans are made, if they fall through, try not to be blown away by that, because this person initially always intends to follow through. Now, if this is regarding, something job related, interview related, you won't expect that sort of flaky behavior there. Instead, what may end up happening is your interview's for 3, but you get there at 2:45 and they can't meet with you until 3:30. And so you're sitting there waiting for 45 minutes for your interview, that sort of thing. Or, suddenly a meeting comes up and they have to reschedule your interview. So it could be, that sort of thing. Ultimately, though, when we do have this Knight of Cups come up, it's coming up to kind of bring you out of a situation where maybe you're not feeling a sense of hope, or maybe you're not feeling a sense of joy. And this person comes along to shed a little joy in your life, to shed a little hope in your life. So this could be somebody that turns into something long term, or it could be somebody who's, kind of comes and goes in your life. Either way, they're here to bring change, and that change is to bring joy and happiness. So this could also be a friend saying, hey, let's get together and go grab dinner. And then when you go out to dinner, you end up meeting somebody like really freaking incredible, or you end up having this amazing conversation that drives you forward in some area of your life. So if you're invited out, whether it's by friends or whether it's, romantic, I'd consider it, because that particular card can sometimes open doors. All right, that's what I have for you for today. Thank you so very much for taking part in our comment contest. And I loved the y'all at the end of it, being from the Carolinas. I absolutely loved that. Thank you so very much. It took me back home for a brief moment, and truly appreciated that. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for being a viewer here and a valued part of this soul family up on Empress Moon Tarot. Everyone, if you are interested in receiving your own one-card tarot reading, be sure to comment down below. Now, you're going to need to do it quick, because I'm doing Gemini again on Monday. So if you don't comment, you can't win. It's plain and simple. All right, my darlings, have an absolutely beautiful day. Stay tuned for my announcement later. And until then, mahalo nui loa, love and light, kiss, kiss, and ta-ta for now. Later.